Alright, so we're going to do another in-depth review of the Heiser Defense. I call it the Pocket AK, but it's PAK1 and 7.62 by 39. We're just going to do a little tabletop review of it. And just, everybody seemed to kind of gravitate toward it. So let's just do a quick thing. It weighs 1 pound, 7 ounces. The barrel is 3.5 inches long, but it's once you put the shell in, between the end of the casing and the beginning of the ports right here is only 3/4 of an inch. So I brought a couple shells here. So if we put that in there like that, you can see we don't have a lot of room there. The gun itself is 6 3/4 inches long, and it's just under 3/4 of an inch thick. Now, if you go back 8 years ago, where I did the review on the double tap 45 ACP, it was 2 barrels, but it was also ported, and it was kind of basically on the same concept. The only thing is it was square edges. It was all metal with the exception of the plate here on the bottom that held a couple on stripper clips that stayed up inside of it. This one, they rounded off the edges, so it's a little nicer to hold on to. I have tried the copper washed 7.62 by 39s. I've tried the reduced to recoil 7.62 by 39, and they shoot. Sometimes you got to pull the trigger 2 and 3 times to get it to go off, and you got to use a rod to get them back out. But if you use the PPU, it's copper, it's round nose, it goes bang as soon as you pull the trigger, and the casing comes out really easy. But I haven't used the gun a lot. I probably only put 10 or 15 rounds to it, so it's not really broke in. You seen in the video, I got to kind of use a little, it's kind of like a neoprene cup to take some of the shock out of it. Now, people were complaining that it doesn't have much more velocity than a 9mm. Okay, so we're going to get a chance. We're going to go to the range, and we're going to run them through the chronograph, but you have to remember, we only have just that little bit of space before you start losing all that pressure, because the barrel is ported on both sides. So that takes a lot of the upward recoil out, and it loses a lot of the steam, because you don't have that full-length barrel pushing that bullet, because most of it is back here. It's escaping out. So it's going to slow it down. Now, forward pops it up, and you can see it actually pops it up. So if I put a round in and I close it up, when I push it forward, you can see it pops it up far enough to get it out. Once you shoot the round, it doesn't do it quite that much. It is about right there. With these two, they're down in, and you have to pry that up to get it out. I hope that stays in focus that close. I don't know. Alright, it has a trapdoor in the bottom, just like the double tap did. But, as you can see, nothing will fit in it. Alright, no matter what you do to it, it will not fit and close. But, I have found that if you use the and put it up here, if you use the PPUs, let me figure out where I'm at here, because I have actually used it and shut the door. Let me do it off camera here real quick, because I have done it. Oh, okay. So what I have to do is I have to do it in backwards. If we put it in this way, it does shut. So it will hold one round. Oh, come on. But if you try to use one of these, they're too long and they will not let the door shut. So if you use the PPUs, they will work. Alright, rounded edges. It's pretty straightforward. I don't know if you can see that groove. It's a fairly deep groove. And then I took the front sight and I painted it with orange glow model car paint. It just kind of helps it stand out there a little quicker so you can pick it up. So other than that, like I said, it's more of a novelty. And you know, just to have, you know, you got a pistol that shoots a rifle shell. So, you know, that, and it just said pain on it, so I'm like, I gotta get one. It's kind of like, if you've seen my video of the American Derringer 4570, okay, if you look, it is nice and wide, but you only got room for 2 fingers, okay. Now, somebody said, well, why didn't you use the cup on it? Well, that's got a lot more power, and I want to make sure I got it in my hand so I can get a good grip on it, because I'd rather for it to sting my hand than to come back and crack me between the eyes. Alright, so we're going to do a little better video on the breakdown of this one a little later. Probably won't be any more shooting on it. I've already shot the 405 grain and the Hornady Sub X 410 grain out of it. Not quite as painful, but it is what it is. Alright, so anyway, like I said, everybody was kind of looking at that one, and that's what it is. It's just a fun novelty. I call it a pocket rocket. PPUs. I didn't have any others. Like I said, I had a bunch of these. I think these are Norinco, and then these were just a low recoil. And then I have a CZ527 with a set trigger on it that we use for whitetail hunting, and it is devastating. So when I go to the range, I'm going to chronograph it, and the only pistol I have that has a 3-inch barrel is going to be, alright, basically, well, it's going to be a little shorter, but if you look from end to end where the ports start, that's in a 9mm, and the PPUs are 123 grain, and this is 124 grain. So we're going to shoot them, and we're going to see the difference in velocity, because basically that's about as close as I can get in grain worth, and that's about as close as I can get in barrel length. So we're going to see, because, you know, somebody said, well, they only shoot about, you know, 11 or 1200 feet per second out of this. Yeah, that's true, but when you break that down to a 3-inch barrel or a 2.5-inch barrel, there's a big difference. That 1200 feet per second is the manufacturer's doing that out of probably a 5 or 5.5-inch barrel. So we're going to do a reality of pretty much apple to apple. Okay, that's all we got for right now. We'll get back to you when we take it to the range. Thank you.